All good? Hey everyone, welcome back to Objective Reviews. My name is Nick, and today we are going to be checking out the Lenovo Thinkpad E495 featuring the Ryzen 3500U. And this is going to be kind of a starting point for a lot of Ryzen 3000 parts that we'll be doing in the studio here. So we have two prospective builds planned for later on in the month, and we'll see how that goes. But right now we have the Lenovo ThinkPad, and we got it, I think, a month ago, exactly a month ago, from the date of shooting this video. And what's very interesting is that my brother and I have been trying it out and using it. I've been benchmarking it and putting it through a lot of stress tests, and he's been using it in a lot of real world scenarios. And we've kind of brought our two observations together, and this is the review based on that. So what you've been seeing on screen so far is the unboxing of the laptop and setting it up, and I have to say that setting up Windows on a new fresh laptop or desktop is incredibly tedious. So is Mac OS. Both of these OSs need to shorten the setup process incredibly, and get the user to the desktop first and then run the setup from there, because for regular users getting to the desktop is more important. So yeah, once you have them there, you can do all this other bullshit, like grabbing all our data. So let's take a quick overview of the laptop itself and check it out. The display is a beautiful 14-inch 1080p 60 Hz display. The colors on this display are very, very nice. However, the thing that bothers me a lot is the huge fat bottom chin on this laptop. Was it necessary given how the industrial design of this laptop is? Yeah, definitely. So that is one thing that it has going against it. However, the display itself is very, very good for the price that this laptop comes at. Moving on to the webcam. Moving on to the speakers on this are decent at best. They aren't even good or comparable to something else. They're just decent. They're there, they exist, and you can use them if you want to, but I would not recommend it if you want some decent level audio quality out of this laptop. Just wear headphones or earphones and be nice to people around you. But here's a quick audio test of the speakers from this laptop.
14 tons of liquid propellant consisting of N2O4 oxidizer and US-25 fuel. Range Operations Director Shri K. Ponginen on the screens now. Now L110 is slowly reaching towards its end phase. Under 60 seconds for L110 to go, and as I had told earlier, the L110 was ignited at 110 seconds from the liftoff time, and it will be shut off by the guidance reaching the predefined targets for the L110 stage.
Plus 5 minutes.
We are launch plus 5 minutes and 5 seconds, and shortly the L110 will be shut off.
जब रॉकेट का एल्टीट्यूड 117 किलोमीटर अभी अनाउंसमेंट हुआ है, रॉकेट क्रायोजेनिक रॉकेट प्रज्वलित हो गया है और उसे L110 रॉकेट से अलग हो गया है.
The cryogenic stage has ignited, and I don't know whether you can hear the.
So as you can see, they're very muffled, and this is because the speakers are positioned at the bottom of this laptop, so they are downwards firing, and whatever the surface they are kept on, that kind of muffles all of the audio. But yeah, it's the best that you can get at this price point, and it's pretty okay. Talking about the I/O, this laptop is full of it. Like, there's a lot of I/O, and I'm really happy that there is a lot of I/O on this. On one side of this laptop, you have the USB-C port, which also doubles up as the charging port for this laptop at 65 watts, followed by a HDMI 2.0 port, two USB 3 ports, and the headphone mic in jack. On the other side, you have the Kensington lock, a RJ45 connector rated up to 1 gigabits per second, another USB 3 port, I believe this one is always on, and finally a micro SD card reader. So thank you Lenovo for including the micro SD card reader, because you know, some of us kind of need it in the field. Apple, if you're listening. So one thing I did not know about ThinkPads is that the logo on the display on the back of the display panel, the I in the Think close. And when I first saw this, I was very fascinated. And then I saw my fiance's old ThinkPad. It's pretty old, and I noticed that it is there on that model as well. And I honestly did not know that, and I was really surprised to see it. It's a very nice touch. Again, Apple, do not remove glowing things from the back of the display panel. Alright, moving on to how the keyboard works, and ThinkPads are really known for including good keyboards at the price point that they come at varying price points. The keyboard here was very pleasant to use, and note that I'm coming from a MacBook Pro 8th gen with an 8th gen CPU, and boy did I have fun typing on this. Here's a quick sound test of how the keys sound. Not very mushy, not very clicky, kind of a good balance between the two, and you'll have to take my word for it until you try it out for yourself that these feel great to type on. So yeah. Now the red nipple on these ThinkPads is a huge thing amongst its users, and I really don't get it because I had a very hard time trying to use it. So if there are any training videos on Khan Academy or Udemy or something like that, link them down in the comments because I need to learn how to use that properly. Moving down from there into the trackpad itself. Now this is a very good trackpad for a Windows laptop. It's not one of the best trackpads out there on a laptop because that position, I'll still give it to the MacBook trackpads. Those are incredibly good, very accurate. Now, it's not that this trackpad isn't accurate or it's hard to use. It's easy to use. It tracks very well, but it's no trackpad found on the MacBooks. Those are just a bliss to use, and they're very soft and smooth on your fingers. The problem here becomes that although this is a great trackpad, the multi-finger gestures implemented in Windows, the animations are not very smooth. It's very jittery and kind of makes the whole experience pretty bad. So a great trackpad combined with horrible software. So now it's finally time for some benchmarks and a quick rundown on the CPU and GPU before I go into that domain. The CPU is a Ryzen 3500U. Now, although it is a 3XXX SKU, it is not a 7 nanometer chip. It's still a 12 nanometer chip coming from AMD, and it is paired with a Vega 8 GPU, so 8 compute units on that. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these benchmarks. And what I also tried to do is break it down into when the laptop was connected to AC power and when it was running off its own batteries. So you get a good idea of how the laptop will perform when you're out and about using the battery or when you're plugged into the wall. So you get both ideas, and quick spoiler, the difference isn't much. So let's check out the benchmarks. So the first benchmark was MATLAB, as this is a SME and business-oriented laptop, and more targeted towards schoolgoers and college-goers. So yeah, so considering that, I thought maybe run MATLAB and see how it does there. So running Bench 5 using the built-in benchmarking tool, we see that the maximum temperature the CPU hits for that is 69.9 degrees Celsius, and the minimum at 41.5. And in all cases, the ambient was set to 25 degrees Celsius. So base it on that. And on battery, it goes to 65 degrees and 41.3 degrees minimum. So yeah, the CPU held itself. It can go up to 90 degrees before it starts thermal throttling. So I think the built-in cooling solution Lenovo has in this laptop is doing its job very, very well. And also how quickly this laptop cools down is very fascinating as well. And as for the scores themselves, I'll have them up on the screen right now. You have scores with the laptop plugged into the wall, and then you have scores with the laptop running on battery. And as you can see, the difference isn't a whole lot. So it's within 1 to 5%. Next up, we have Cinebench R20, and please note that I'm using R20, not R16 or 15, because the scores between these various release versions are not directly comparable, so don't do that, please. So let's take a look at the temperatures first. On power, we had the maximum temperature hitting at 81.3 degrees Celsius, averaging out at 79.5 with a minimum of 40.8. On battery, we had 81.8 degrees Celsius as the maximum, 80.0 as the average, and 41.8 as the minimum. Now, the difference in scores here is what really got me. So remember, the two scores I'll be showing you right now are going to be between the laptop plugged into power and the laptop off power, running off its batteries. And on power, this laptop scored 1,427 points, and on battery, 1,326 points. A 100-point difference between running it on power and running it on batteries. So Lenovo is doing really cool stuff inside, or this chip does really well. So whichever it is, whoever wants to take credit, or if both companies want to take credit for this together, please do, because this is great stuff. Yeah, and I'm angry because my 6-core HEDT desktop behind me, that huge thing, does 926. Yeah, I'm pissed. God damn it. So moving on to Heaven, I kind of screwed up the benchmarks at first. Quick rundown on the config that I was using. Anti-aliasing set at 2, 1080p, full screen was no, DirectX 11, and everything is set to high. When connected to power, the temperatures at maximum was 65.3, 61.5 average, and 44.6 minimum. On battery, the temperatures were 65.3 maximum, 65.3 average, and 40.8 minimum. And the scores are kind of interesting. So when plugged into power, you get an average FPS of 11.4, the minimum at 6.4, and the maximum at 24 FPS with a score of 287. Now when connected to battery, things get interesting. You average at 11.5 frames per second with a minimum of 7.9, a maximum of 22.5, and a score of 290. Nope, I did not fuck up the tests. So I thought I did. So I got the laptop in again, cooled it down to 25 degrees, ran the tests again on power, let it cool down to 25 again, and after a while ran it on battery again, and I ended up with the same results within a 1% delta. And I don't know what to make of these tests. So if any one of you all know what's happening here, leave a comment down below explaining to the rest of us idiots what is happening here, because I am unable to explain these results. So let's take a look at these results side by side. This is what is happening, and I have no idea how to make sense of this. So if you do, comment down below and educate us. Alright, so we have seen the benchmarks, we have seen how the laptop looks. What is my final conclusion here? If you want a laptop at about the price range of 40 to 45,000 that isn't a power hog and does better than its Intel counterparts, where you have no need for the instruction sets that come with Intel but don't come with Ryzen 3000 SKUs, well, this is a great price for a great laptop. So if you are lucky, like my brother was, you can get this at 40,000 and get a free bag with it. So a lightweight laptop that averages about 7 hours on a single charge, which does not heat up every single time I try to open a new window in Finder or Explorer, and that does great at what it is supposed to do at its rated power, and does not empty my wallet, and looks very slick, and has a good trackpad, and has a great keyboard, and has a glowing logo on the back with a good display, with a good 1080p display. If that is what you're looking for, I'll leave my affiliate links for this laptop down in the description so you can go check it out and buy from there, because if you do buy from that link, I get a small kickback at no extra cost for you. So you can do that. And if you don't want to buy this laptop but still liked the video, you can hit the like button. If you disliked it, you can hit the dislike button twice. So, you know, your vote gets registered twice. You know, double dislike it. Yeah. And if you're new around here, hit the subscribe button, and if you want to get notifications, optionally you can click the bell icon. It's okay if you don't, as long as you come back and watch my videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.